Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nicomsat. Now the news in full. The United Arab Emirates, UAE, has reportedly donated 50 tons of humanitarian aid to the federal government in Nigeria in order to support those affected by recent flood in the country. Head of press at the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Manzo Ezekiel, in a statement said the relief materials were handed over by the country's ambassador, Salem Ashami, noting that the donation was initiated by the UAE President Sheikh Mohammed Al Nahyan as part of its ongoing commitment to assist nations impacted by natural disaster. The Director General of NEMA, Zubaydah Umar, also appreciated the UAE government for the gesture, stating that it would certainly complement the bold effort by the federal government to provide succor and assistance affected persons to recover from the disaster. The Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Matthew Kuka, has stated that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not sign a peace accord when he was a presidential candidate in 2023. Kuka, one of the conveners of the National Peace Committee headed by former head of state General Abdulsalami Abubakar, made this known in Benin City during the Edo Election Security Town Hall. According to the clearing man, the committee cannot force any presidential candidate to sign the peace pact, which has become an electoral ritual in the last decade. Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Walson Jack, has facilitated with Nigerian Muslims on the year 2024 Eid al-Maulud. Wilson Jack, in a statement signed by the head of public relations of her office, Eno Olotu, urged Muslims to uphold the embody the Prophet's timeline virtues of peace, kindness, humility, and selflessness, especially in their daily interactions. She further called on the Muslim Ummah to seize this spiritual moment to pray for enduring peace, love, and unity in our collective pursuit of building a stronger, more prosperous Nigeria. Over now to Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has assured that all Progressive Congress aspirants who contested the party's primaries for the local government election but failed to scale through will be refunded their money spent on purchase of forms. Uzodinma gave the assurance after attending Sunday Mass at the Government House Chapel in Owerri, the state capital. Kikelomo Okere tells us more.
The Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma maintained that there is no going back on the date for the local government elections, insisting that September 21st, 2024 remains sacrosanct, pledging that only the funds spent on purchasing form from the party will be refunded, excluding expenses made without receipt, such as those spent on consultations.
I want to call on all our leaders to bear with me and make this sacrifice. All the people that apply as aspirants to run for either councilorship or chairmanship in the local government election who are not successful, their monies will be refunded tomorrow.
The governor also pleaded with leaders whose expectation may have been disappointed to bear with the party and make sacrifice for the sake of the party in particular and the state in general.
We want to use the opportunity of this local government election to push back government to the grassroots, to encourage participation of the grassroots, to see whether some of our leaders will consider going back home to break from their homes.
Governor Hope Uzodinma further reassures the public that the election will proceed as scheduled, the Imo State Electoral Commission, on September 21st, 2024. Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News. The Imo State.
Thank you, Kike, for that report. Minister of State for Defense Bello Matawalle and the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, have directed an immediate investigation into allegations that a naval rating seaman, Abbas Haruna, have been in detention for nearly 6 years. Haruna's wife had, while featuring on a radio station in Abuja, accused the military authorities of unjustly keeping her husband in their custody for almost 6 years. Reacting to the allegations, Matawalle, in a statement by his personal assistant on media, Ahmed Danwadil, said no officer should be subjected to undue hardship or wrongful treatment. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has described as insensitive the federal government's threat to deduct 7 days' pay from doctors' salaries for going on strike to demand the rescue of their colleague kidnapped in December 2023. The second vice president of the association and chairman of its medical education committee, Dr. Kefas Uwida, added that the doctors were unmoved by the pay deduction threat. The resident doctors had recently embarked on a 7-day warning strike to demand the rescue of their colleague, Dr. Ganiat Popola, who was kidnapped almost 9 months after at the National Eye Center, Kaduna. In response, the federal government expressed disappointment at the doctors' decision, stating that they would lose 7 days' pay. The National Librarian and Chief Executive Officer of the National Library, Professor Chinwe Anobi, stated that the library has issued over 26,000 international standard book numbers to publishers across the country so far in 2024. She also disclosed that Nigerians, particularly researchers, no longer need to visit the headquarters to obtain ISBNs, International Standard Series numbers, newspaper publications, indices, or other services, as these can now be accessed via the National Library of Nigeria's website and social media platforms. Anobi noted that the library has branches in 33 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, while Kebbi, Zamfara, Delta, and Anambra states are still in the process of providing land for the establishment of library offices. Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal has flagged off the distribution of essential drug, personal protective equipment, PPE, and emergency response materials to hospitals across the state. The governor says the distribution is part of a series of activities initiated by the government to enhance the people's well-being and improve the state's healthcare infrastructure and service delivery, particularly in addressing the medical needs of vulnerable and undeserved communities. Sharon J. completes the report.
The distribution of over 1 billion naira worth of drugs and emergency response materials to hospitals across the state is a significant initiative aimed to bolster the healthcare system and ensure that the medical facilities are adequately equipped to handle emergencies and provide essential care to the population. The governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, while flagging off the distribution of drugs, explained that the decision to provide the drugs and emergency response materials is a proactive measure to improve patient outcomes by ensuring healthcare facilities are well stocked.
This distribution of over 1 billion worth of vital drugs and resources is not just a symbolic gesture, but a concrete demonstration of our commitment to the state of emergency we declared in the health sector and our resolve to tackle health challenges head-on.
Zamfara State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Aisha Anka, says the medical supplies are crucial in the fight against health crisis and disease outbreaks.
To announce to you that His Excellency will be distributing drugs and medical consumables worth 1 billion naira to our primary, secondary, as well as tertiary health facilities across all the 14 local government areas of our dear state. With these supplies, our dear people of Zamfara State will have a better health, better care, and better lives.
The Director of Public Health at the Zamfara State Ministry of Health, Dr. Yusuf Abubakar, applauded the effort of the state governor for his dedication to revitalizing the health sector.
Any services to the health sector is being given priority, and also is being given to those who need it without any diversion. And the Honorable Commissioner has, met with this committee, and she has set the standard, and she also set the principle and guidelines upon which these commodities are going to be utilized.
The distributed items include life-saving medications, personal protective equipment, and other critical emergency response materials. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Sharon, for that report. You're watching Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When Midday News return, NNPC to sell Dangote petrol at 1,019 naira per litre in Borno and 950 naira in Lagos. Details of these and more right after this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Global Television, bringing you live broadcasts of midday news. Thank you for staying with us. On our business desk, Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has said that it will sell the petrol lifted from the Dangote refinery at the price above 1,000 naira per litre in the far north. The NNPC spokesperson Olufemi Sonoye disclosed this in a statement titled, NNPC Limited releases estimated pump price of PMS from Dangote refinery based on September 2024 pricing. Sonoye explained that the price may go for as high as 1,019 naira per litre in places like Borno State and 999.22 naira in Abuja, Sokoto, Kano, and others. Telecommunications operators are expected to start disconnecting mobile telephone lines that are not linked to national identification numbers, following the expiration of September 14th deadline set by the Nigerian Communications Commission. The NCC said in a statement in August that it is expected that no SIM card will remain active without a verified NIN from September 15th. The telecom regulator had encouraged subscribers who were yet to complete their NIM SIM linkage or have faced issues due to verification mismatches to visit their service providers promptly to update their details before the deadline. The sale of subsidized rice to the general public begins today, Monday. An official of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security stated on Sunday, as a notice from the ministry also confirmed the commencement of the exercise. The ministry said the move is part of efforts to mitigate the soaring price of staple, which has increased to as high as 90,000 naira per 50 kg bag in some states. The sale of subsidized rice to the general public follows the distribution of subsidized commodity to civil and public servants in recent weeks. On our foreign desk, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger will soon launch new biometric passports. Mali's military leader, Colonel Assimi Gouta, says as the junta-led states look to solidify their alliance after splitting from regional bloc ECOWAS. The three Sahel nations, of all under military rule following a string of coups since 2020, joined together last September under the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, after severing ties with former colonial ruler France and pivoting towards Russia. They then said in January that they were turning their backs on the Economic Community of West African States, an organization they accused of being manipulated by France in July. The allies consolidated their ties with creation of a confederation of Sahel states, which will be chaired by Mali in its first year and groups some 72 million people. U.S. police are investigating the background of a gunman arrested at the Florida golf course where Donald Trump was playing. The FBI have called it an apparent assassination attempt. It happened just 2 months after Trump survived a shooting in Pennsylvania. U.S. media have named the suspect as Ryan Wesley Routh, 58. Over now to our sports desk. Expectedly, Victor Osimhen made an instant impact in the Turkish Super League, having 7 shots on goal in his debut for Galatasaray in Saturday's 5-0 rout of Zimmerspor, a record in a Super League match this season. Smarting from the disappointment of failed summer window's deadline days moves to Chelsea and Al Ahly, the 25-year-old proved to be one with much guts, making a bold statement on his maiden outing with the Yellow Reds by providing an assist in their rerounding. Victor in the game week 5 fixture at Rams Park in Istanbul, where Davinson Sanchez, Abdulkarim Bakassi, Gabriel Serra, Dries Mertens, and Baris Yilmaz took turns to find the net. Torn straight into the starting lineup by head coach Okan Buruk, Osimhen wasted no time showing his quality. His physical presence and sharp movements were a constant headache for the Reservoir defense throughout the match. Team Lagos swimmers Chioma Kanu, Sokumbi Toby, and Ezumba Chidelu shone brightly, claiming medals in swimming, while Sunday Emmanuel also won a bronze in the weightlifting event at the 2024 National Youth Game. Kanu won the gold medal in 50-meter freestyle girls, while her other teammate Tase won gold in 200-meter individual medley boys, and Chidelu settled for silver in 100-meter boys. The stylish performance of Lagos rising stars showed up the medal haul in the swimming event to 4 heading into the final day of competition for the aquatic event at the swimming pole at the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba. That's it on Midday News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Remember, we are on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nicomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms by using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.